Welcome everyone. Welcome to Hair Journey. I am here today to talk to my hair professionals about basically beauty school. Talk about those who are just starting, those who are thinking about getting into beauty school, those who have graduated, and those who are getting ready to graduate. So basically, I am a licensed cosmetologist. I've been licensed now since a year and a week. And I decided that I had some trouble starting out. I did have a pretty decent team of resources that I sought out, and that's really what I'm coming to you all today to let you all know how to be successful in the beauty industry. And how to keep going and not give up, because it's so easy to give up simply because, if you don't know what to do and how to do it, or who to talk to, or who to get the advice from, people, just human nature, people tend to just give up for the most part. But we can have so many successful beauty professionals out here if we only had more resources. And I figured, instead of me trying to figure out how to provide that, or how to get that rather from other resources, I figured I would be a resource myself to many more people. Like, as far as like other stylists in the industry, I talk to them a lot, and I listen to not only them, but I also listen to my clients that I have, and I listened to a lot of their complaints and a lot of what they wish they had. And my thought was, you know what? I had those same issues. I had those same, concerns and complaints. And I literally had to walk or figure it out myself. But it wasn't easy, and it still isn't. And I'm still learning, and I'm still going to continue to learn things. And as I learn things, I plan to share those things with you. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my notes, and thank you for joining me today. And this segment is just called, and I'm going to do quite a few series of this, but if there is anything in particular that questions you have or concerns you may have, that's what, like, if it's something stopping you from getting into beauty school, if there's information that you need help with, or just questions, or if you're getting ready to graduate, if you have questions about that, like after graduation, because I'm going to go over a lot of those throughout my videos. But if I see that I'm getting requests about certain things a little bit more than others, I'm probably going to skip around and answer those questions for you all as quickly as possible, because that's what's being asked of me. So you guys are running this show. I'm really just giving you the information. So feel free to reach out to me, and you can reach out to me on Instagram as well. Instagram is Hair Journey as well, except there's no Y. So it's HeirJourne on Instagram. So you can reach out to me, DM me on there, ask, whatever questions you have, and I'll be more than happy to help you. The other thing is, feel free to comment below. If you like this video, share it, comment, and subscribe to it. Okay, so moving on. I'm going to call this my beauty school newbies. Okay, even if you've graduated, already, you're still technically a newbie to the industry. If you're anywhere between a year and under, I would say a year and under, you're technically a newbie to me. You may feel that you've learned a lot, and I guarantee you're going to learn a lot in this industry rather quickly. As long as you keep your mindset on moving forward. If you get so caught up on a few things that's going to go down here and there, and we'll get into that too, you'll basically lose what you worked for, what you worked so hard for. So I'm going to look over here at my notes, so just don't mind me as I do that. So I want to go ahead and give you all just a little bit of background on me as well and what you're going to expect out of my videos. I went over that just a tad bit, but I'm going to talk about some of my experiences that I had in beauty school. I'm going to talk about what you can expect on my channel, my experiences in beauty school, what you can expect out of beauty school for the most part, just an overall general view of it. And this is not just my experiences, these are experiences as well from other beauty professionals. Some who are newbies and some who have been in the industry for over 20 years. So, and I also will every now and again do interviews with beauty professionals who have been in the industry for a long time. And depending on some of your questions, if I can help in that way as well, I will reach out to some of my resources and sit down with them and basically pick their brain so that, you know, you can get not just my insight on the beauty world, but also theirs as well. I feel like that the more you have, the more you work with, the more you have to work with, the better and the more successful you're going to be. And that's my goal. So, all right. So, another thing is going to be um, that we're going to do, I am going to do some tutorials um, here and there. You know, this is about the beauty world. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. And with the licensed cosmetologist, typically your main focus, for those of you who are thinking about it, is hair. You do get into your basic makeup, you do get into your basic facials and stuff like that, but for the most part the majority of your program is going to be hair nowadays. And I actually like this. I know a lot of the newbies that I come across, they they like it, but it's just a tad bit more work that they have to do when it comes down to practical time. What I mean by that is a lot of the beauty schools now, they are required to have beauty professionals do a strip lash, one strip lash, I believe it's one full hand of acrylic, if I'm not mistaken. I will verify that. I'm in Texas, so I know that's what it is in Texas. That may not be the case in wherever you are. So you probably want to look into that, or whatever beauty school you decide to go with, or where you are, then you may want to ask those questions. If you're getting ready to graduate, I'm pretty sure at this point they've already told you, you know, what to expect for practical purposes. But for any reason, if they haven't said that, just ask that question. I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask, and then find out later and you're like lost. So the strip lash, the full nail of acrylic, and I believe it's foils, maybe a couple foils, highlighting foils that you have to put in now. I didn't have to go through that. That literally just changed last year. September, and I finished last year, literally like a year and a week or so ago, being licensed. But I would started beauty school, just to give you a little background about me. I started beauty school back in 2014, and from there, I'm originally from Chicago. So from there, in 2014, I started at Pivot Point Academy, and from Pivot Point, I in 2015 I got pregnant, and I didn't know that I was pregnant or whatever. I was engaged at the particular time, and I was, you know, really focused on finishing school because it was something that I wanted to do for so long. So I was going to school part-time in the evenings, and that was and working full-time in the daytime. I also was a mom. I had my daughter. She was 8 years old at the time, and then my fiance. So there was a lot going on. But one thing I can say, for those of you who do not have those types of responsibilities, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. I did it, and I thought, oh my goodness, the days were just so long. But it was well worth it. In the end, I got to the point to where I actually appreciated everything that went down the way that it went down, even though it was a struggle during that time. Don't get bogged down with anything or any obstacles that get in your way. Um, so from there, I ended up getting really sick and ended up taking a leave of absence from school. So I ended up, technically, it's a leave of absence, but I kind of consider it as I dropped out of school. Okay, I dropped out. We were getting ready to move to Texas that following, um, that it was 2015. My son was born in October, and we moved to Texas in May of 2016. So there you go. So I had him. I was stay-at-home mom at that point. Um, and then we moved to Texas, May 2016. From there, I went to, as soon as before I even moved to Texas, I was already making moves and calls and trying to forget transcripts and everything. That's another thing. If you need some advice on that as well, if you're in another state and you plan on moving to another state and you need assistance or need some advice on that, I can also assist with that because I've done that. Um, but um, when I got came down to Texas, I was ready to go. Basically, I had my transcripts ready to go and everything. So make sure when you're considering to start school, make sure you have all your documentation. Basically, that's your high school transcripts, literally your transcripts that said you graduated. Okay, don't come with anything other than your transcripts or your diploma. Either one, you can do that too. Your transcripts or even your diploma. Okay. So then I went to Regency in Texas, and for most of you who may know about Regency or even went to Regency Beauty Institute, that shut down. So from there, I ended up um, basically running around like a chicken with his head cut off, looking for another school. I'm almost at the brink. There was 1,500 hours that I needed to complete school, and almost at the brink of finishing up. And guess what? I ended up having to just go back into corporate America. Because it was taking too long for me to find a school that was willing to take the amount of hours that I had. And I had started over already. And when I say start over, it wasn't complete started over because I had hours from Pivot Point. And so I sent those transcripts along with my high school transcripts. Keep that in mind too. When you go into a different school, a different beauty school, if you're transferring schools, remember that not all beauty schools are going to just take your transcripts from the previous beauty school and assume that, oh, well, you have a transcripts from there. Guess we're gonna just assume that you went to high school because they accepted you. No, you still have to keep those same. Actually, you can't keep those same. I just thought about it. Transcripts. You have to now reorder. You have to reorder transcripts because once they open it, the seal is broken on the transcripts. I know all of this because that was literally the job I had when I was in beauty school working full time. That was what I was doing. I was literally getting people's transcripts in and, knowing an unofficial from an official transcript. So you can't do that really because they're not going to assume that those are legitimate transcripts. So technically you would have to order a new pair of transcripts for the new school. So just giving you a little bit of insight there. Okay, but so Regency closed, had to look for a new school, couldn't find a new school. I literally started my Salon Boutique Academy. Shout out to them because I actually liked Salon Boutique Academy because I loved Pivot Point too. Don't get me wrong, I love Pivot Point. They did change hands right after right before I got sick or right after I got sick. They changed hands. So it was almost like it was almost supposed to happen that way. Everything it happens for a reason. So how everything goes down, I'm just trying to work it out, all the challenges and the kinks, and roll with the punches, to make the best of everything. So when I say you can do it, you absolutely can. I'm here to motivate all of you. Okay. Um, so 2016, we moved here the end of 2016. So December of 2016 is when I decided um that I was going to go back into corporate America. Got a job back in corporate doing this basically the same or similar thing I was doing in Chicago, transcripts, registraring and stuff like that at school. So after that, even during that, I was still looking. I was going to cosmetology schools, calling them, setting up appointments, going in, bringing transcripts, telling them my situation. And half of them knew the situation because most of them knew the Regency Beauty Institute had closed. Excuse me, had closed down. So they knew that because there were other students that were coming to their schools from those institutes all over, all over, it was international. So it was like all over. People were finding new schools. So they knew about what happened. And I'll get into that another video or whatnot, but this video I just kind of wanted to give you guys insight on what I want to talk about on this channel, what I want you all to focus on, and let's roll together. So I was just giving you my background. I ended up going to Salon Boutique Academy September of 2019. Yeah, exactly. So September of 2019, from 2016 to 19, I was so miserable, guys. I was so miserable because I did not want to be in a cubicle all day. I didn't want to be in corporate America all day. I never had that mindset. And that's another thing we'll talk about, mindset and getting ready for the industry and getting ready if you don't want to be working for nobody, getting ready for that as well, how to go about doing so. So it was almost 3 years or whatever. And I found a school, and it was so crazy how it happened. It was a lady at Ogle who I called because that was the school I was calling to see if I could go to their school, if they would accept all the hours that I had, because I had over 1,300 hours, and it took 1,500 hours for me to complete my license. So a lot of people were not willing to take the 1,300 hours simply because, financial aid wasn't going to cover the additional hours for the most part. And they really weren't going to get much money out of me. I wasn't, profitable for them. So it was kind of like, no, the most we could take is about 750 hours. Some was 650. That's the lowest I've heard is 650. But for the majority of them, it was 750 hours they were willing to take, and then I would have had to start from 750. And not only that, they were telling me, okay, yeah, we'll take 750, but when you start here, we're going to have to start you at the beginning of the you have to take that first portion of the curriculum of the program that I've taken now twice. Keep in mind, Pivot Point, Regency, and now if I go to this new school, I'm gonna have to do it again. And it was just like I was ready to just like literally pull all my hair out. And my hair was pretty long at that particular time. That's neither here nor there. But at the end of the day, I was just like, in my mind and in my soul, in my heart, I knew that I was going to figure it out one way or another. He was going to make a way for me to get to where I was trying to go. So I decided to, when I called Ogle, the lady, she said, well, I can't help you, baby, with all those hours that you have. I'm just going to let you know right now. And I am the type of person, I appreciate honesty to the fullest. Okay. I appreciate it. and she was positive about it too. So that was the topper as well. But anyway, so she was like, well, I can't help you, but I believe I know somebody that can. So let me give you this phone number. She gave me the phone number to Song Boutique Academy, and I called them right after dropping the phone off, getting off the phone with her. I was like, I'm not waiting, because if you think they can help me, guess what? I want to hear about it right now. So I called them and I spoke with the admissions advisor there. And she said, yeah, how many you say you have? I said, I have 1,300 hours. And my mind was already set to hearing, well, we can only take, that's, that was, we can only take, as soon as I hear that, I'm just like, here we go with the 750 again. Ugh. I was just so ready to just drop the phone. But she said, well, we can only take 1,000 of your 1,300. We can only take up to 1,000 credit hours. You don't know. I sat there and I was like, it was some sun shining that day. I mean, when I say sun shining, I mean the feeling, the cast came off. The feeling was so good to the point to where I was like, my days are real short here at this job. Like, cause I was literally on my lunch hour when I called to talk to this lady. I was like, oh, after she said that, and I was like, okay, but I'm the type of person, okay, I'm not gonna get my hopes up too much. Let me go in, let me sit down, let me talk, let me get the information, da da da. So I did that. I set up an appointment with her for the following. She said the earliest appointment she had was that Saturday. So went in on that Saturday, sat down with her, and sure enough, it was all legit stuff. It was all legit stuff. Pricing was prorated, everything. So when I say shout out to Salon Boutique Academy, Texas, I am so grateful for them, because without a school like them, who were willing to, or who worked with the financial aid department, who worked with TDLR is the license, work with all of those agencies for them to even be able to. This is a smaller school. And that may be the reason why they were able to actually take a few more, because they're smaller, so they can kind of do a little bit, I don't know, more than the bigger franchising ones, because this is not a franchise, but they are accredited. And in my eyes, that's all that I care about. That's another thing we're going to talk about. So at the end of the day, I ended up being able to complete my program with them a year ago. So that all of that information, all true. So if I can go through all of these hurdles on top of being put out of the house, literally there's other things that were on top of it that I didn't even talk about, simply because it wasn't really relevant to the beauty industry, and what I want you all to learn and know. But there were other things, smaller things in there that were hindering the situation. But having that armor on and staying focused and staying positive, because it's so easy to be negative, staying positive is what you need to get you where you want to go. Okay, so I do appreciate you all today. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. But I do want to get into more videos. I'm going to do another video a little shortly. This was just kind of the start of my channel or whatever. So I do appreciate you for coming here and taking your time out to listen to my rant and my story. And I hope it helped someone or motivated someone to say, you know what, if she can do it, I can too. Because guess what? You sure can. Okay. So I will see you all soon in another video. Thank you again, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.